Okay, so I don't know if there are other questions. If not, we will switch to Jason.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas, for this. Yeah, it's a very interesting project, I think. Yeah, it's also
thanks.
good to have like all these different ones, you know, to compare and to see what's going on in this market. And just a second, what I forgot before on my part is that yeah, we have Jeff Tang who applied to be a replacement for Ryan Kim, and he's on the forum, and he's a replacement on the boule because Ryan Kim he never contributed, and we will go into a vote about this too. Yeah, starting tomorrow, I guess, yes. And we vote all. First, I had the intention that boule members should vote about this, but somehow also because of the concern of the distribution of the votes, yeah, we're going to an all Aladdin vote, and so yeah, just that I forgot. Now the stage is open for Jason with Bancor.
Yeah, thanks, Marty. So this is my first time trying to introducing project. Bancor is actually it's not a new project. It has a very long history. So just a few days ago, they have an announcement of releasing version 3. And I also noticed DeFi Dad has a live stream yesterday, introducing some new interesting features from the version 3. So I'm trying to more from like a developer's perspective, because I'm trying to find the new contract, but they haven't released it. So maybe the discussion today about version 3 could be somewhat general. And in the beginning, Martin talking about the budget DAO. The budget DAO has attacked because the front end issue, I guess, because someone, the user just approved to a wrong address, to the wrong user. Actually, this happened to Bancor like two years ago. Not sure exactly what years. Maybe it's 2018. So it's also like some people approve to the wrong user, and the hacker tried to steal a decent amount of money from bank network. That time, DeFi is still not a big thing, so the total amount is not very big. But after that, there's no. I think Bancor for now they don't have like a very severe incident so far. So let's start from the history from Bancor. So they started from 2017. So the version 1, it was started with ICO from they actually they raised a lot of that was 390,000 Ethereum, but actually Bancor is the first modern DEX with the concept of AMM. The core mechanism introduced by Bancor is firstly they were called constant reserve ratio. So this idea is very similar if you know Uniswap. So it's like if you have a somewhat XA token and YB token. So the spot price is X divided Y, and the bonding curve. They have some. They can define the weight of different assets. So the bonding curve is somewhat similar to balancer. And later they changed the concept name to connected weight. All the trading pairs should have the native token BNT tokens. So you cannot have like it's like a Uniswap version 1, I guess. So in Uniswap version 1, every token should be swapped with Ethereum first, and in Bancor you have to use BNT. And so if you want to bootstrap your liquidity, the team should have first purchased some BNT tokens, and they can start a pool on Bancor. But the liquidity farming was still not a thing. So I think that could be a reason like why Bancor V version 1 fall behind some new projects, so like Uniswap and SushiSwap. And another issue back in that time is in Bancor, there's a lot of arbitrage. So whenever anyone trade, you can back run, front run. There's more arbitraging can be done comparing with Uniswap. So in Bancor version 2, the team started to like using some external price oracle to automatically liquidate the position. But that time we don't have Chainlink, so the price oracle is not as good as nowadays. So this brings us to like Bancor version 2.1. It was started like from last year. It's it's a restart, reboot. I think it's more like a reboot from the of the old project. And Bancor in 2.1 version, they introduced some like new concept, which is very distinct in Bancor itself. So one is a single-sided liquidity, and another one is impermanent loss protection. And finally, they try to introduce a new designed token economics for their own tokens. So for single-sided liquidity, it was designed like, so for any liquidity pool, if you deposit some tokens, the protocol will mint new BNT tokens. And if the LP removes the token or there's a trading fee generated from the trading pair, the same amount of a BNT will be burned. But however, obviously we should have a limit here. So this cap is managed under the Bancor's governance. So they can decide like for how many BNT we should mint for a specific trading pair. So when you try to deposit, you will notice that there's a space available here. So this will tell you like how much tokens you can still deposit into the trading pair. So as I said before, each trading pair consists with a token and the BNT. So there's no direct token to token pair as Uniswap. So in Uniswap V2, right? But actually, there's a little benefit here. So if you try to supply liquidity with a token, you can earn fees from all the virtual pairs. So for example, if you supply ALD as liquidity, whenever a user trades from Ethereum or USDT, you will always collecting the trading fees by providing the liquidity. Another important feature is impermanent loss protection. This was designed for long-term stakers. So the basic idea is if you stake some tokens, for example, if we stake 100 ALD as liquidity for at least 100 days. So when I withdraw, I can guarantee to have a 100 ALD out. So to be eligible for the protection, I have to stake for at least 30 days. And after 30 days, I will increase by 1% daily and finally reach 100% after 100 days. But actually, there's no, the question here is like, who is covering the loss? Because there's no magic. So part of the trading fee is going to our insurance fund. And for any LP who withdraws early, like if you withdraw early before 30 days, the protection fund for you will contribute to the global insurance fund. And if no fund is, because the compensation is in the form of the token itself, if there's no token to cover the loss, the Bancor's network will mint new BNT tokens to cover cover the loss for users. So in the end, the BNT holders will cover for the last result. As we can see from the Dune analytics, the protective value actually grows quite a lot. Bancor network, they have a very good performance after March this year, and we have like 800 million under the Bancor protected. But this only applies to the whitelist pools. So if you're providing liquidity, you should always check if there's a shared icon to the left. So as we discussed the two features, we noticed that first we have a limit like in every pools, like for how many BNT we should mint, and another one is which pool we should cover for the implement loss risks. So if we have too many pools, the whole system will under the risk of like if a price change a lot with some bad performance tokens, all the BNT holders will suffer a great loss. And later, they also designed a system quite like a curve. So if you stake BNT, you get a VBNT, and you can use VBNT to vote for all these features, like the limit, the trading fee rate, which we should whitelist, and you can also vote like how many VBNT we should buy back from the trading fees collected. And also you can stake the BNT directly into the pool. By staking, the pool can have more space available for users to provide liquidity from stable coins or other tokens. So this can increase and bring more liquidity as for a specific pool. But I noticed this issue here, like the BNT price and the VBNT price actually it's not pegged quite well. It's the VBNT just arise a little bit after in the last few days. This could be the recent price drops, so people are withdrawing liquidity. So I'm not sure like how this will affect, but just notice this difference in the prices. So far, we can come up with some like what will be the challenges for bankers. So first, Bancor brings the concept like if you can easily manage, you can easily be a liquidity provider, especially if you have stable coins, but you just deposit it into any pool you like. But the issue is that's too many people want to stake their stable coins. So the yield is not the yield is not quite good compared with other pools. And another issue is, as I said, sometimes there will be no space for you. Also, the bankers the total value locked is still falling behind with Uniswap V2 and V3. And also the whole governance is always need a process. So like if you're adding a new token to Bancor, you have to wait to be whitelist, and so the pool can be covered for the IL loss. So this would take a few days. So sometimes the Bancor cannot respond to the new tokens very quickly. And also the protection, as we said, it's usually the stable coins with tokens will bring much of the impermanent loss. So if the system brings too many stablecoin pairs, it'll be a pressure like to the insurance fund. So I was trying to find if version 3 can be can fix some of these issues here. For now, we can have the preview of the roadmap, and for the contract on the GitHub, they're saying they're claiming to bring the new update to the repo. So I'm still waiting to see the new contract. By version 3.0, they have all these new features, but I was trying to understand from like a developer's perspective, like thinking how they would do it. So these are all assumptions before seeing actual code. So first, for the instant IO protection, to my guess, they would have like a ledger to track the LP position for every users, and so the experience might be like, if you are more familiar with SSPL as Olympus DAO, you don't need to like restake, because the system automatically restake your tokens to the pool, and so when you withdraw, the value will be reflected on the amount of tokens that you can withdraw from your initial deposit. And by the concept of omnipool and infinity pools, this concept should be very similar, like balancer V2. So before in Bancor, you have to deposit token in different pairs. But now they should have like a new token vault. So all the tokens will be deposited into the same vault. The BNT stakers can benefit from actually all the virtual pools. So for example, if you stake BNT, all the trading pairs from BNT will collecting fees for you. And for the whole, and also for the Bancor itself, it should be much easier to manage the cap. So before you have to like specify the limit for different pools, but for now you can just set a global cap. That should be much easier for the governance, and also this will reduce some gas costs, because before you have like, if you're trading from one token to another token, there's 2 token transfers between 2 contracts, but for now it's only 1 contract. So this so again, this is very like Balancer V2. So if you're familiar with Balancer, the benefits should be also quite similar. Another idea here is auto compounding, dual rewards, third party IO protection. I think all these concepts are related with. So before, if you stake into the Bancor pool, you can only get a reward like with BNT, but for now, it allows a third party to also incentivize the trading pool. So this would more like a curve to some extent. So if you're mining, if you're staking in a pool, the third party can add their token as a reward for the users, and all these rewards will be automatically staked and calculated. So this is much easier to manage, and so the whole experience will be also quite like a curve, I guess. So they're also claiming to have a multi-chain support. So this is a must-have for now. So we have a lot of L2 projects, and so this I think this is we're waiting to see like Bancor adding to different EVM chains. So some pros and cons here. I think the only cons right now is we're still waiting for more disclosure, and we need to see the actual contracts to understand the new design. So some of these are my guess like how they would do that. I think the process first is it should be much easier to use Bancor. You don't need to restake. You don't have to worry about the IO protection because for now, even if you stake for 1 day, you still be covered. And also the project will be more gas efficient. another thing for the Bancor itself is the governance process should be much easier. So if you set a global cap, I think it could be more easier to add a new token. And also the whole design can incorporate many. I think they incorporate many good designs from other projects. So for example, the third-party protection and dual reward. It could be. So I think it can grow to some project next year protocol like Convex. So it had a lot of I think it's a lot of potential here. So for Aladdin DAO, I think first we could have a new yield farming choice option. So I think I think if V3 is released, there'll be like more pools with third-party rewards. So we can put some stablecoins from Aladdin DAO user to yield farming on Bancor with all these new pools. And as I said, there could be some projects like Convex growth on top of Bancor V3. That in that case, we have a more opportunity here for Aladdin DAO users. And another thing is for Aladdin DAO project itself, we can use the same opportunity to bootstrap Aladdin DAO liquidity on Bancor. This would also be a great a good chance for Aladdin DAO users. Yeah. That's it. So
thank you
any questions?
very much. Yeah, I follow Bancor since years, or yeah, really since years, and it's interesting what they're doing right now. I think the impermanent loss, yeah, they have one. The 100-day impermanent loss have one of the main differentiators against other protocols. And I'm still critical, because what you do then is you socialize the impermanent loss set somehow, yeah. And I've been in contact with Nate sometimes, but I think it's very nice about this 100-day impermanent loss that it deliquifies the capital. You know, if you take it out and then you want to come again, you have to wait again. And now they're killing that and do it like with 0 days. And yeah, looking how this reflects on the TVL, you know, because then you can take it out and come again, and you have the same effect basically. But I was thinking, and I did like ask Ned, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I had like the idea that if you look at the normal farming where you just pay for standing liquidity, how it has been done in the past, and then if you look on the bonding stuff with now the new kid on the block, and should be a good idea. I think the idea that you can, you know, I think they still choose between pools with impermanent loss protection and pools without. But I guess what they're going to provide is that the project themselves can make the impermanent loss protection for their users. And I guess this has a lot of potential, because this means if you're a project and you have like a weak coin and you don't get voted in by the governments of Bancor to have impermanent loss protection, you can do it yourself. And you only pay for the impermanent loss who is happening in the pool, and you don't pay it for like everyone who is in the pool. And I guess this, if it really works out, I guess this is it's a very good product to have, basically.
Yeah,
because
I think this feature is very important, because
yes,
it has a new source to cover the impermanent loss.
Yes. Yeah, because then the project themselves can cover only the impermanent loss without doing, you know, doing yield farming all the time. I think the biggest drawback on this is that if the token is going lose value, you know, then maybe it's a race to the bottom, because then people take out the token to sell, generate impermanent loss protection, and then the protocol themselves have to inject more token to pay this, and then you have more token on the market.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
guess they will like split into two categories. Of one is as before the whitelist pool, so it's
Yes.
on the Banker project, and the other pools it can be like a curve factory something. So any team can create a new pool if they're willing to provide their own tokens for the protection.
Yes, I guess so. Yeah, that's the end goal, I guess. Yeah, this is from my side. I don't know if there are questions from. Are there any questions or addition or to this?
I think you pointed this out, but eventually, eventually when this goes live, which is, I think it's expected in the coming weeks. Like I think it's before January potentially, but we'll have to check with Nate and the team.
And Nate, he told me it's in January. I don't know,
Oh, he
maybe
did say,
they
oh,
speed
okay.
it
Oh,
up. You know,
no.
I talked to him like
Okay,
2 weeks
yeah.
ago. So
Yeah,
before.
yeah. No. That's, yeah, that or February then if they said January. I mean, one of the biggest benefits here, just to re-highlight, is so I've used these single-sided LPs for the past year, but the problem is that I've always had to go back and I haven't done this for most of those LPs. I would have to claim the BNT rewards or you know, in the future here, I guess if you thought about me having to claim, if I deposit Ether, having to claim like the additional rewards in Ether, here in this V3, everything auto compounds. And so it's just awesome. It means it's like deposit into the LP, set it and forget it, allow everything to continue to earn more. I do think there will be more competition in these LPs, which will probably cause, because the gas will be less and because they've simplified the fact that you can deposit BNT into the Omni pool across all the LPs. But long story short, this is a great way to earn yield denominated in the token that you deposit, and not have to continuously eat away at profits by spending gas. So it's a killer product, and yeah, and I say that too. I'm not a Bancor investor. I do have a little BNT now just because I've earned it obviously as an LP as a reward, but yeah, I've just been amazed by what they've tried to innovate on to improve AMMs. So yeah.
They come a long way. Basically, they had at the start they had a lot of problems. You know, they have been hacked like more than once, basically. But now it looks like they fixed it.
Yeah. No, they've got, and credit to Nate Heineman there. He is
Yeah.
he's just a force to reckon with. The one thing to call out here too, or just another like sort of like risk is, so the single-sided LPs do depend on, in the past, and they'll continue to depend on this, that, you know, we're trying to compensate folks for impermanent loss. And so there's always been speculated that there's a hit that BNT holders take, but that's been incorrect for the past year because the volumes have increased so much on Bancor that, you know, I mean, the math has worked out. Like BNT holders ultimately, especially those who are staking, should be earning more. But anyways, I think one of the fears is, and this isn't from the core team, I think this is just myself and like other users, we don't know what this looks like in a bear market. And the team obviously has a lot of math to say that it will work, but worth noting that there is a future here that we're just not totally certain of. I'm not worried the whole thing's gonna like implode, but I am concerned whether the impermanent loss protection will work as well. So
Yeah, that's nobody.
yeah.
You know, they had like They pushed like this 2 weeks ago. They pushed like an analysis of Uniswap 3.3, you know, and told everyone, yeah, most of the people taking impermanent loss and are not in the profit. And I'm not sure if they're going to hit 2, you know, in the future, because nobody knows basically.
And it's fair to I think if you look just at the trading fees, of course, there are many people that would have been better off just holding a token or holding the tokens that are in their Uniswap V3 LP. But with the added farming rewards, obviously I think there are more than what was shared there that have done well. And but that's going to change again in a bear market. We have lived with Uniswap through a bear market, and you know, there's a lot of LPs that can tell stories about just how wrecked they got. You know, it was pretty bad until the Uni airdrop for some of those people. I
Yes,
remember
yes.
hearing stories of like, you know, stories that like maybe they're almost back to break even. But yeah, I am very excited for Bancor V3. It really, they listened to what users complained about and they tried to solve for that. And I think that's what this DAO is about, is being open to those new farming opportunities. So I think Bancor could be a real like black hole for liquidity. Also too, Bancor will benefit from, there's like new liquidity directors like Tokamak, and Tokamak will be directing liquidity to Bancor as far as I know. So that was one project, which full disclosure, I am invested through 4RC and Tokamak. But there was talk about whether there was like a competition there, and I don't see it that way. I think that Tokamak is aiming to redirect liquidity to the likes of Bancor. So I think that Bancor is going to ultimately benefit from that added liquidity as well.
Yeah, the thing I'm waiting for is a multi-chain strategy, you know, basically, because somehow I have the feeling it's also a brand problem, maybe, you know, because now, of course, everyone knows Bancor and they have like a brand for the old people who know them, but on the new chains, they're not present, and somehow I have the feeling they miss like an opportunity, maybe not even you know, even to get a lot of TVL, but also more brand-wise, because the impermanent loss protection is such a big seller, basically, you know. But we
It
will
really
see.
does. It feels like there's a big opportunity for them and for really anyone. But Uniswap looks like it's just about to deploy. Well, not just about to, but there's a proposal that would put liquidity mining incentives for Uniswap, I think on Arbitrum and Optimism, uh, and that's been like long in coming. Actually, sorry, I think it's
Do
the
you think
both.
it has a chance?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know what we're doing with there's a liquid treasury of like $4.5 billion
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Uni.
yeah.
And you know, I'm very I am a Uni holder, so disclosing that, but I just I want to see those I want to see that treasury like used, but I also am
Yeah,
like
of
very
course.
confident like now whenever that bear market comes, the treasury is so enormous. Like I mean, we could have, you know, I don't want
Yeah,
this
they
to
have
happen.
to use it basically.
Yeah. Yeah,
They
yeah.
need to use it because it's just it's a unused force, you know. Yeah, we
Yeah.
see, you know, the games that Curve now starts to do their eating into
Curve too.
Uniswap's territory with their new pools, you know, basically. So it looks like another action from Uniswap. You know, that's my main concern. They're always, for me, it looks a little bit like Uniswap is always reacting to what's going on, and they don't not tech-wise, but now if they
Right.
restart, incentivize stuff, so they're just reacting to other. So they're not leading this, but somehow they could lead this. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am still excited for what Uniswap built with V3.
yeah, yeah.
I knew it was a little bit ahead of its time, and different. I think that what Bancor is releasing is ahead of others, but it's oriented to the average DeFi user, whereas like Uniswap V3 is really allowing, like, I think, larger money to be more efficient with their capital as market makers. So this is good. This is why I think the Bancor V3, and we'll probably be using Uniswap V3 strategies as well in the future, but this Bancor V3 seems ideal for us with Aladdin DAO.
Okay, so we are over the hour, and I know last remarks, or I will close the call. Yeah, thank you for everyone joining this. And again, the next call will be 1 hour later. And the reason is that the two people giving in the call, that is Adam Patel and Sanil, they live in the West Coast, and so they can, yeah, it's a decent time for them to do it. So next week we meet us again 1 hour later, and then, yeah, it's almost Christmas. We will see. Thank you for joining, everyone. See you next week.
Thanks, Martin.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Ciao.
Guys.
Tschüss. Ciao.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys. Bye, Sherilyn.
Thank you. Bye.